I was a test pilot in the Navy, and I didn't know much about astronauts. Only Al Shepard had flown. And so I began to think about it, and think, boy, that's going to be amazing. I wonder how they picked Al Shepard. Who the heck is he?
T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6.
See the rocket with the searchlights over in the distance, and behind it was this very thin sliver of the moon. And it was starting to sink in on me that this moon was one heck of a long way off.
First of all, that everything that we had trained for worked perfectly. We orbited just the way we should have been. The engines worked fine. We were captured by the moon now. We had circularized our orbit, and we looked at the moon, and my impressions was that, of course, it was all shades of gray, no color. It was very awesome and sort of, forbidden. In other words, it looked like it was ancient and no atmosphere, like time stood still when we saw the moon just 60 miles above the surface.
I couldn't believe it when early in our descent, Neil had a chart with marks on it, and we were looking down, and after about 2 minutes of power descent, he said, "I think we're going to be a little long." I could not believe that he could say that he could observe that was going to have anything to do, but we were, and it worked, and we were long, I guess because we didn't have good tracking coming around the moon, and that was the antenna wouldn't lock on too well.
off the limb. It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Oh, that looks beautiful, Neil. It has a stark beauty all its own. It's like much of the high desert of the United States. It's different, but it's very pretty out here.
I think we certainly felt that the Apollo 13 disaster put pressure on the whole program. We couldn't afford another failure. So had we not been able to land on Apollo 14 for some reason or another, and it did get a little iffy, that might have been the end of the lunar missions right there.
There's no question it was a push, certainly computer. I mean, I'm amazed that we went to the moon with the biggest computer was less than a megabyte, about a tenth of a megabyte, in fact. And today we throw gigs around like crazy. So it's certainly pushed computing assets, which really more on the ground, the mainframes, they pushed IBM to develop to support both Rendezvous, the calculations needed for Rendezvous, as well as navigation, for translunar navigation to trajectory calculations.